I'm opening the doors too, by the way. So we get
Awesome.
this,
Perfect.
get that going. So we get the doors rolling. I should give Tony more heads up. She's 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 bashful. It's all good. So that or she's worried about her cat crossing the camera again.
That's what
And
it
our
is.
on our team meeting, there's just this cat that goes by.
I love that. It's just a little added color to the presentation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll let everybody get in here. We open the door about a minute before, and doing this from our homes today, as Chicago got iced in a little bit this morning from corner to corner. Processors who live in Montgomery and Plainfield said that their driveways were sheets of ice, and then I've got teammates in Mundelein and Lake in the Hills, and they said it was just as bad out there. So, needless to say, the office didn't open, and decided to close the office, and obviously doing this from home, except for Erin, who is in her very swanky large office. So very nice. So other than that, we'll get everybody in here. And Tony has put a little message in the chat, which I'm actually going to make a little larger. As usual, in our Lunch and Learn program for you guys that are here, we wanted to, any interaction or questions that you have about the program and the software, please hit the chat. We'll do a little bit of an introduction and then a big thank you, certainly to HomeBot for sponsoring our sandwiches today. So we do appreciate that with you guys. Today we have Rob Lapp, who is our national account executive for Cross Country, and he's here to assist. Been with HomeBot for a couple of years that I see. And then we've got Aaron Johnson, who's actually going to be leading the class. Excuse me. Actually going to be leading our class today and walking through the PowerPoint, and I'll be peppering her with all the questions that hopefully we get. We'll see. And so Aaron has been in the real estate business for 25 years, been with HomeBot for just under 5, I see. Perfect,
Yep.
perfect. And still an active real estate agent? I saw you have your license still too, so that's good.
I do. I'll be honest. I've been tied to the industry for over 20 years, but never as a full-time agent, mainly on the tech and coaching side. So I can definitely give any feedback to how HomeBot compares to other technologies or how we can help you integrate it into the other tools in your business. But I'm not a full-time producing agent. Obviously, HomeBot's my full-time job.
That's good. Well, HomeBot's an incredible tool. We've been involved for many, many years. I'm glad that you guys are here checking it out with us. HomeBot is just an amazing tool for client interaction. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Aaron. And again, thank you guys for lunch. Got a couple shout outs on the chat. So thanks for lunch as well. Aaron, I'm going to let you put your PowerPoint up there and get started.
Great. So bear with me 1 minute while I share my screen. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yep. Yeah, we got it here.
Perfect. So I always want to start by explaining what HomeBot is and what we're not, because there's a lot of confusion around what the actual product is designed to do. And then I'll actually demo both sides of HomeBot, the homeowners and the buyers report. I'll cover what it looks like to co-brand with the Kimball team and HomeBot. And then lastly, we'll land on some great marketing strategies. When you have questions, if you post those in the chat, then obviously Richard can, when I pause during the presentation, ask me any of those questions that come in. And then if we need a little extra time at the end to answer additional questions, happy to do that as well. But let's get started. This QR code actually takes you to my website. Again, this presentation is strictly going to be presented from co-branding with the Kimball team at Cross Country. But my website has a lot of other great training links and marketing templates on it as well for you. No matter where I travel in the United States, I'm often in person in large rooms or over Zoom speaking to realtors. These are the 4 biggest problems that always come up. And number one, top of that list has got to be inventory. Reality is it's been low for 10 years, but COVID and rates have made it much worse. Again, That's a huge problem for us. But then let's talk about competition. Between the onset of the all cash iBuyer sites that are taking our listings away from us and the big boys like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, we have got to do a better job of protecting our clients and being the first person they reach out to when they have a question. When you look at what you send out through your CRM to your clients, what's your average open and engagement rate? In the industry as a whole, it's less than 21%, which means 79% of your clients have forgotten about you. They're not even looking at the email you're sending out. And that probably goes hand in hand with our low retention, which is less than 25% in the industry. That means more than 75% of your clients have forgotten about you within 1 year of closing on that new home. And then lastly, I don't know any realtor that doesn't struggle with technology. Between your branding, your IDX listing fee to protect your buyers, your CRM, chat GTP, video, we are all frustrated with trying to get all of our tools integrated and working correctly. And I don't know anybody who hasn't paid for something that they cannot figure out how to use. Now, my guess, beginning of 2024, you probably have a few extra problems you can add to this list. But I do hope by the end of our webinar today, you'll see how co-branding with the Kimball team on HomeBot can be an amazing solution to these top 4. So, how's inventory where you live? That's pretty much a rhetorical question at this point. I was out in Chicago in the fall, and it doesn't seem like it matters where I'm talking about HomeBot. I get the same answer. Very, very low. And this is a huge problem for us realtors because we are desperate for more listings. And yet, what is one of the hardest things for you to do? Figuring out who's ready to move and who's not. HomeBot will absolutely create hand raisers for you, people that literally reach out once you load your entire database into HomeBot and tell you they're ready to sell. That's a really good day in real estate, right? But you're also going to have people that fall into this category and they'll tell you they love HomeBot, but they're never moving. Well, that's okay. You still want to stay top of mind with this homeowner because they could change their mind. It happens all the time. And this homeowner knows 100 people in their own sphere of influence that they could introduce you to through HomeBot. The hardest groups for realtors are these 3 who would sell for the right price, who told you they're not thinking about selling, but you were watching that homeowner and HomeBot click around their home's market and create selling signals. So why would you wait? Pick up the phone and check in with them. And lastly, who do you need to incubate because they are not ready to move yet, but they will be. And the worst thing that could happen to you is they Google themselves out of your pipeline or walk into somebody else's open house and forget about you. Competition is fierce in real estate, and it is only getting worse. These companies have billions of dollars to spend on marketing, and their whole goal is to dominate the industry and steal your clients away from you. We have got to do a better job of protecting our clients and being the first person they reach out to when they have a question. So here's my question for you. What if you could send something out automatically every month to all of your past clients, all of your own sphere of influence, your friends, your family, your neighbors, as well as your opted-in prospects, and get an over 70% open rate each month to stay connected and start closing more transactions? And what if the solutions to your problems was only $25 a month? That's where HomeBot comes into play. And it is possible to do HomeBot on your own. I believe somebody actually asked the Kimball team a question about that. You can sign up for HomeBot on your own. Each month, we will send out the personal dynamic home report to every homeowner you add with just a name, a property address, and an email. They'll get an updated report from you every month. And it's only $25 a month for your first 500 homes. Additional blocks of 500 clients or homes can be purchased for $10 per block. When you sign up for HomeBot on your own, there's a $50 setup fee to get you set up. We've got to import your database. We've got to set up your landing page and your widget. And we have live classes you can take to learn how to use HomeBot. Each month, they'll get a once a month personalized, updated home report from you with no contract. And best of all, your data is safe and secure at HomeBot. We're a privately held company. Your personal information and your client's information will be shared with nobody. And best of all, if you're on HomeBot on your own right now, you can accept the Kimball Team's invitation to start co-branding with them right away. Because once you have the Kimball Team at Cross Country as your preferred lender in HomeBot, everything you see in yellow is going to turn on for you. And the best way to use these features is to start converting your existing homeowners into selling and buying again with you. Now, if you're wondering why HomeBot holds back some of our advanced features until you have a lender, you've got to go back 8 years ago. That's how long we've been around. When HomeBot was created, we started out as a lender platform. There is a ton of financing opportunity built into the home and buyers report. Of course, when realtors like myself saw that amazing high engagement in the content, we wanted access to it. So we made it available to do on your own, but once you accept the Kimball Team's invitation, everything highlighted will turn on for you. Most importantly of all, these buttons at top of their home report, because now your homeowner can start shopping for a new home with you. They can go into a heat map of market conditions anywhere in the United States they might be thinking about moving to. And when you use our nationwide property listing search, they can even look at listings with you to be protected from those third-party search sites. Another important feature that turns on once you have a lender is access to our mobile app for your clients. We will prompt them to download and use the mobile app so that in addition to getting HomeBot by email, now they actually have that mobile app right on their cell phone. This is a great way to protect your first-time buyers or existing homeowners that start shopping for a new home because HomeBot's going to be right on their cell phone. They can pull up any property and ask you questions about it. Every listing will position you as the person to show the property. And then lastly, all of our personalized video features will turn on for you. And if you've never done video with your clients, now is a great time to start. Use a welcome video. So the first time they open the report, they got a video from you talking about why you've set them up with this free financial tool. And if they have any questions about value, equity, their ability to buy another home, they should reach out to you. This will also allow you to add first-time buyers directly to the buyer's site of HomeBot. And you're going to get 2 extra landing pages once you're co-branded with the Kimball Team. One for buyers and one for HomeBot's nationwide property listing search. Best of all, for the same exact price, when you accept the Kimball Team's invitation, we can actually waive that $50 setup fee because there's a code that we'll provide to waive it. And your first 25 manually loaded clients in HomeBot will be free. And what's free in real estate, right? Having a mobile app is a great way to protect your clients from those other apps like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. And this is exactly where your clients are actually doing their work and tracking their home, right on their cell phone. The statistics speak for themselves. So I love working with a lender on HomeBot because now not only are they getting it by email, both my homeowners and buyers will be using the app right on their cell phone. Whether your clients are getting HomeBot by email or by app from you, all of your information will be on front and center of every property that they own. HomeBot's a lot more than an AVM, but each month we'll track value, equity, their ability to buy another home with you. And not only can you see them click into this section and they can ask you questions, your homeowners can immediately start shopping for a new home with you. And remember, when a homeowner starts shopping for a new home, 9 times out of 10, they're going to sell their current one with you as well. In addition to that, you can start adding first-time buyers directly into that mobile app and by email with just a name and an email. What are we doing for your buyers? Whether they own a home yet or not, we're going to provide smart financial insights. We're actually going to provide the ability to see a heat map of market conditions, and you'll be able to see every market your buyer is looking to buy a home in. Best of all, whether they own a home yet or not, when you use our nationwide property listing search, your buyers will be protected when they look for a property anywhere in the United States with you, because we're actually tied to every MLS in the United States. And we are actually equal to Zillow and the amount of coverage that's represented. The best way to use this is if you live in a state like I do, like California or Chicago, where you get a lot of snowbirds, you can actually show your client property anywhere in the United States with you. And of course, if that home is in a different state or market that you're not licensed in, set it up as a referral fee. You can see the listings they're looking at, and you get to pick up a listing where you live. Adding personalized videos to HomeBot is a great way to talk to your clients through HomeBot. Add your own branding. There's actually 2 places you can add videos, and you won't need special equipment. Use your cell phone camera. Upload them into HomeBot for free. We have the scripting you need. We even have a live workshop that you can take. One of my favorites is video email. So when they get their updated report from you, or as often as every week, talk to them about the market. Talk about your new listing you're bringing on because maybe they know somebody that wants it. Talk about what your buyers are looking for right now and any special new loan products that the Kimball team has shared with you at Cross Country. Another great way to drop in videos is the 16 places in HomeBot where, depending on what your client is doing, you can drop in a video for them. Like if they click into their home's market, why not drop in a should you sell video that talks to your clients about why right now is the best time to list their home before the spring market competition shows up. You can always try the emailed version of HomeBot to your own IDX listing search. It will be an outward link from HomeBot to protect your buyers. Of course, most of us have a local MLS IDX listing search, so I actually prefer using HomeBot's nationwide property listing search. Not only does it embed listings in the mobile app, but 2 sections of the home reports will actually show your client's listing wherever their home is located. One under their market, where we'll show them available property on the market that compares to where they live right now, and under the purchase section, where we give your existing homeowner the opportunity to click here, view listings, and immediately start shopping for a new home with you. Now, this is scrolling through a report really, really fast. Remember, you can accept the Kimball's invitation and start HomeBot for free. You've got nothing to lose because your first 25 manually loaded clients will actually be free to try it out. But again, you can also sign up for a free home report for them to check it out on your own property or one of your listings. What will make HomeBot different than anything else you send out is the amount of attention that the reports receive. We're not bragging. I think the reason the engagement rate is so high is because HomeBot is personal. It's to them about their property. We get an over 70% open rate to the email, and over 50% of your clients on average will actually click into their updated report from you each month.
Hey,
With
Aaron,
less than a 1% unsubscribe rate. Yes.
yes, sorry, Aaron. And I've got something we pulled up some stats recently on our 30-day performance stats. So we had 80% of our emails were opened. We weren't quite at 50% on the engagement, but it was pretty close. And those are just live statistics from us. So I don't know any other email that has an 80% open rate. I mean, that's pretty off the hook as far as that's concerned. And so we enjoy it for that. The coloring with the pink and stuff like that. I think when I first got involved, I was like, oh, this is kind of odd. But then I had a client who had an MBA in marketing, and she said this color scheme is brilliant. It definitely gets people to interact with it. And that's, I think, one of the keys to the open rate. One last thing we had on our buyer email. So we have our existing homeowners we email to, and then our potential leads we email to. Even in the potential leads, the open rate was 73%. I mean, that's unheard of for email.
And I love that you mentioned your actual activity and open and engagement rate, because that's something I always want to tell your realtor partners. You're going to track your own activity and engagement in HomeBot. You don't have to take our word for it or even the Kimball team. Track your own activity and engagement. And if you see a homeowner clicking around their home's market and creating selling signals, you do not need to wait for them to reach out to you. Pick up the phone and check in with them.
Yeah,
This is really the story.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Aaron. I'll follow up in a second. This is good.
No problem. This is the story behind HomeBot. It is actually why we were created 8 years ago. We have 11 million plus homeowners getting the home report from their agent or when you're co-branded with the lender. And we're not surprised by this statistic because we're in the industry, right? We know that your home is literally the largest single asset you own and the primary source of wealth driving in the United States. But when you show this same nationwide statistic to your homeowners and renters, they will be very shocked because they get all these coaching and training resources for the 17%, the 401k, the savings, the almost non existent pension plans. Really, nothing that helps them track and build wealth through home ownership. And that is actually why we are pink and black. We are designed to get through their marketing filter with that educational content. So, what are we? I want to start by telling you what we're not. We are not a CRM. We cannot replace your CRM because we only send one thing out to your clients every month, a personal dynamic financial report on their home or on buying a home if they don't own one yet. While we can't replace your CRM, we're going to get a much higher open and engagement rate. And in some cases, we might be able to integrate with it. HomeBot is also not trying to sell you leads because the only way a homeowner or buyer gets HomeBot is when you add them to HomeBot. We're a new category called the Client for Life portal. And every single month, your clients are going to be protected with those personal dynamic reports coming from you. It's only $25 a month with no contract. Your data is safe and secure. Even though you'll be co-branded with the Kimball team, they only appear under financing. And they only see your client when they ask a financing driven question. We're mobile friendly. We are in Spanish and English. And best of all, you can send HomeBot to everybody, past clients, your sphere of influence, which is usually around 100 people that know you on a first name basis, but they've never done a real estate transaction with you, as well as your opted in prospects. Our goal at HomeBot is to maximize your repeat and referral business by getting through your client's marketing filter with educational content that keeps you top of mind. And then you can start using HomeBot at your open houses, QR code farming postcards, post on social media, and I highly recommend you have all of your landing pages on your phone. That way, when someone's asked you how the market it is, you simply add them to HomeBot or text them your link. I'm going to show you what the product looks like, but before I do that, any questions, Richard, or anything else you want to cover before we demo the actual product?
Yeah, and certainly we invite everybody out there to throw some questions. You've been great, Aaron, as far as the way you cover it. The one thing that I noticed when Tony gave me my 30-day performance on the engagement that we had. So we had in the engagements for the buyer's side, we ended up with 54 people, 54 different clients that had went through and did something that we could follow up on. So that's 54 potential leads just in a 30-day cycle, and those were our buyers who have not purchased a home yet. On our existing clientele, we had over 200 in a 30-day period where our team can go back and engage with these folks and say, hey, we saw that you were looking out, we saw that you live in the city and now you're looking at Del Webb and Huntley. And, can we talk a little bit about that? And do you need an agent right now? Can we work on getting you pre-approved? And those types of things. So the opportunities that this creates for you to be proactive is pretty incredible too, if you're going to follow up on those.
All right. Well, remember you can post those questions in the chat and the Q&A, but I want to show you what the actual product looks like. Remember, if you're not ready to accept that invitation to try HomeBot for free with the Kimball team, you can ask them to add you as a client to HomeBot. I often tell realtors the best way to understand HomeBot is to get HomeBot on your own property. Now, there are a few features that you see here in my report that only turn on because I am co-branded with the lender. Number one, these buttons at the top. They only exist for realtors when you're co-branded. I love that HomeBot is encouraging my existing homeowner to start shopping for a new home with me. They can go into a heat map of market conditions anywhere in the United States or immediately start searching for a new home anywhere in the United States. Also, access to our mobile app and downloading it. Again, you can invite them to download the app, but we will always prompt your client to do that once you have a lender on HomeBot. Otherwise, you're just going to get HomeBot by email from you. And then, of course, those personalized videos, you'll see them throughout my report. But the best one that I highly recommend you start with is the welcome video. Talk to your clients, let them know why you set them up with this free financial tool, and make sure they know to reach out to you with any questions. Without a lender, those features won't exist, and you won't be able to add first-time buyers as well. Either way, you can keep adding more properties for your client, and they can keep adding more properties. Maybe you didn't know about that vacation home they have in Florida. Underneath your branding, because HomeBot is delivered from you every single month, the first thing HomeBot delivers is the value of the property. Biggest question I get from realtors, where did this value come from? Two ways. Number one, you can set value in HomeBot. When we get the Kimball team's closed transactions, they typically provide a sale price or an appraisal. And that's what sets value. You can do the same thing in HomeBot. When you add the client, give us a value through a recent CMA, appraisal, sale price. And of course, you can also edit value anytime in HomeBot you want as well. But if you don't do that, then HomeBot will provide our AVM, which is an aggregate of several trusted resources that realtors use. But whether you set value or HomeBot sets value, the best part of all is your client can tune value with you. They actually have a range. And I don't know about you, but my client never thinks their house is worth less, ever. They always think it's worth more. But when they do that in HomeBot, remember, they're not on Zillow, which won't let them edit value anyway. They're doing it with you. So we'll confirm the size in case this client recently added on, and we let your client tell you about every improvement they made. That actually increases the value, and you get notified. When you get that notification that your client thinks their house is worth more, reach out. Remember, we are an engagement tool. Congratulate them on the kitchen remodel. Ask them if they want you to confirm that value through a CMA. And then I would be asking them, with all the equity you're sitting on, are you thinking about making a move? No AVM is perfect. And remember, whether you set value, edit value, or your client edits value, the AVM goes away and the property will continue to increase every month based on their local market. But we do everything possible to educate your client on why AVMs are so far off. Remember, they're a computer algorithm. Where I live in San Diego County, my AVM is off by $200,000. It doesn't know about all the improvements I've made and that I got a great deal. I've seen AVMs be off by almost $1 million, depending on the market. The best part of HomeBot is your client is protected. And once you or they edit value, value continues to increase. Now, we do talk about your client's market. This is one of the most click-through sections in HomeBot. We're going to dig into everything important to that client, which includes appreciation, which has been insane for the last few years. Cash position, because even though you don't provide the mortgage information, we can calculate net proceeds if they sell. And lastly, what's going on in their local market. Best of all, once you accept the Kimball team's invitation, drop in a video and know that your clients can reach out to you with any questions they have, and you're going to get a text and email so you can reach out to them. If you do have the Kimball Team as your lender, not only can you drop in videos, but we can even show them listings that compare to where they live right now, tied to the local MLS. Underneath the market conditions, net worth, which is simple math. And remember, you don't have to provide the mortgage information. We can pull this in from our sources. But if any of this is off, you and your client can edit it, and any edits made will recalculate net worth as well as what they've paid for principal and interest so far. Remember, to your client, this isn't just an AVM. It's like logging into their bank account or their 401k. Now, we will give them options to make extra principal payments because some of your clients don't want to do a rate and term refi right now, but they want to pay their home off early. And then if they are interested in a rate and term refi and they click in here, this is the only place the Kimball Team will appear. You're not sharing your database with the Kimball Team. They run their own separate lending account in HomeBot. They only appear under financing, and they only see the client when they ask a financing driven question. In that case, the question goes back to both of you. But I love co-branding with my lender, Nina, so I don't have to answer financing questions. And I get all those advanced features to start converting my homeowners into buying and selling with me, as well as new buyers. Of course, we also partner on leads. Just like Richard was saying earlier, he's actually creating opportunity in his database for people that are interested in selling and buying. He can partner with you on those leads, and he can help your clients with their financing driven questions. Now, underneath financing, my favorite module in HomeBot is the purchase module. This is where we give your existing homeowner the ability to start shopping for a new home with you in HomeBot. You may not know this, but according to the National Association of Realtors that does a buyer survey every year, more than 60% of the buyers for the last 10 years in a row have actually been existing homeowners making a move. That's more than 50%. These are your homeowners that are downsizing, upsizing, and relocating to other states. Therefore, HomeBot may be one of the lowest cost listing drivers you've ever seen because they can click on any of these options, watch a video, and immediately start shopping for a new home with you. And every time they do that, you'll get notified your client's exploring markets. Now, if you're wondering about this get instant offer button, know this is something you turn on if you want. It's defaulted off. I have it turned on not because I'm going to pay cash for my client's home, but because I want to talk to my client before I lose the listing to an all cash buyer site or all cash offer site. Again, I'm not going to pay cash for their home, but I'm certainly going to talk to them about how much more they're going to net in proceeds when they list the home with me and drive competition to it. So only turn it on if you want. Underneath the purchase module, we actually provide a cash out refi section. And yes, this is a potential cash out refi or HELOC for your lender, but it is more than that because most of us realtors have other partners in the business, financial planners, insurance agents. Some of you might be the only realtor in a local business networking group like Latit. Great. Now you got referrals to other partners in the business. And then one last thing in HomeBot, we actually provide a 1 mile radius of short-term rental information for your homeowner. You might be thinking to yourself, my homeowners would never do short-term rentals. They're way too conservative. And hey, you know your clients better than HomeBot does, but they love that information. And there's always that disclaimer, not all neighborhoods allow short-term rentals. You got to make sure it's okay. Sometimes, however, it just simply starts a conversation around long-term rentals and how that could help them qualify to buy their dream home with you. At the bottom, we always encourage them to share HomeBot with other people. And they do it automatically because HomeBot isn't a sales pitch or cleaning out their gutters. It's about them. But why not encourage them to do so? Post it on social media, invite someone they know to get HomeBot from you. Run a referral reward contest and put them in a drawing. Once that new person accepts the invitation, you got a new client to reach out to. And then remember, we assume everybody who gave us opt in. They've already freely given you their email address, but they can unsubscribe anytime they want. You got 11 million plus homeowners on HomeBot and less than a 1% unsubscribe rate. And never forget that homeowners become buyers all the time. And once they click on buy or market conditions or search, you're going to get notified by text and email that your client's exploring markets. Richard, do we have any questions or feedback from you before I show the buyer side of HomeBot?
Absolutely. So the first, you kind of touched on this a little bit. So we've got one in the chat and then one question that I have for you. In the chat, Dolores asked if a client is so impressed by this and wants to share it with their friends and family, can they do so? If so, does it get linked back to us into our HomeBot account?
Absolutely. Like I said, we encourage them here to invite people to join HomeBot. And when they join HomeBot, they're going to get it from you. Remember, we don't sell leads. Your clients belong to you. So if they use your landing page, if they refer a client to you either here or at the bottom of that report where I was showing you, we encourage referrals as well. Every lead comes back to you and you get notified.
The next question that I have is you've mentioned some videos, and I'm not quite sure we're utilizing that personally as much as I'm going to be after this. But do you have, for the videos, do you guys have like either template samples or scripts or things so that an agent can just say, okay, this is what I want to post. This is, I'm listening to this. I'm just going to repeat what Aaron said, or maybe there's an educational portion in the site where I can, okay, this is a script. I'll read it through the video and then drop it back into HomeBot.
Not only do we have scripts, we have a live workshop and tons of examples of realtors and lenders already using video. It is a great way to engage your clients and position you as that true real estate expert. If you've never done it before, get out of your own way. It's not about being a movie star. We all want to be famous, right? It's about talking to your clients through HomeBot. And for someone like you, Richard, that wants to increase your engagement, where they're actually clicking into the report, I highly recommend starting to use video.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's perfect. We already use quite a bit of video, and now that I see that can kind of set that up, Tony and I will be working on that. So that's great stuff. We have a little pause here. So any other questions? Oh, good. Rob just put in a link to using the video workshop. So very cool. Very cool. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that. And yeah, so far so good. You said there's a buyer side, so I could put buyers in here that don't actually have a property.
Exactly. And I'm going to show that to you next. Remember, homeowners become buyers all the time. So they'll click right here and they'll actually create their own buyer's report, and you'll get notified that your client's exploring markets. Reach out, right? Set up a listing appointment. Get them pre-approved with the Kimball team as a realtor. That being said, the buyer side of HomeBot is also for your first-time buyers. So yes, add those first-time buyers once you're co-branded with the Kimball team with just a name and an email. A lot of our lenders do add all of their pre-approvals in here as well, because now you can start tracking what your buyers are doing. But the biggest question I often get is, well, I understand what homeowners are getting from HomeBot, but what are my buyers going to get? Everything HomeBot sends out to a buyer, whether they own a home yet or not, is designed to protect them from those third-party sites like Zillow and provide smart budgeting, financial insight, market conditions, and to guide them through that process of purchasing another property through you. So in that buyer's report, if they don't own a home yet, your information will be on top, whether they use the mobile app, which we prompt them to do, or they're simply getting that emailed version of the buyer's report from you. Your buyer can pick a price point. They can calculate a payment, or they can get pre-approved, which is another great opportunity for a video. They can look in any market in the United States because HomeBot is nationwide. Now, your buyer probably isn't looking in this many different markets, but you get the idea. You can favorite markets and zip codes for them, and so can they, and you can see what they're doing. They can go into a heat map of market conditions anywhere in the United States to search for a new home. So, hey, maybe this client is a snowbird and they're actually looking to purchase a second home down in Florida to warm up. Once they put that city in there, you can see where they're searching. And the first thing your buyer is going to see is a heat map of market conditions. What do these numbers mean to your buyer? Whether they own a home yet or not, when NAR does the research on buyers, 70% of the buyers that bought a home last year had remorse. They feel like they didn't have enough information when they pulled the trigger. So, what this heat map of market conditions is going to do for your buyer is show them where, when, and how to buy. See, all of these numbers are tied to zip codes in the Tampa Bay area based on a $650,000 purchase price. The higher the number, especially these orange ones, means low inventory. Higher numbers, low inventory, bidding wars, seller's market, they potentially might miss out on the property. And again, if they change the price and raise it, the numbers will get better. But if they drop their price down, they're going to get even more competitive. Now, the second way a buyer can look for a home is based on square footage at that purchase price. And hey, maybe they want a bigger home, right? Well, now they can see what markets they can actually get more square footage at that price. Cheapest buy as an investor, first time home buyer looking for the most bang for their buck. And lastly, how fast could your buyer move in? This is actually search date time to the close of escrow for a buyer, which could be really important if their lease is up, their current home is under contract to be sold, or maybe they just relocated to that market. Once they click on a market here, let's say any of these markets, they can favorite it and you can see which markets they favorite. And then we can show them listings using our listing search, or in the emailed version of HomeBot, you can link it to your own search here. But whether you use your home outward link to your search or you use HomeBot search, we have one goal in HomeBot. Any property they're looking at will position you as the person they should reach out to. So if the home's not in your market, set it up as a buyer referral, and you might be able to pick a listing out of it as well. Any property they're looking at, they can favorite, they can schedule a tour. And when you use our listing search, remember it is nationwide and they can filter by bedrooms, bathrooms, newest listings, and we can even start sending them listing alerts from you as well. Whether you use your own link or HomeBots, our goal is simply to protect your buyers. And remember, once they've favorited a new market, it's going to become part of their updated report. So here's that new market we were looking at. Your buyer can ask you questions. And again, those questions will come to you as a text and an email, just like with your homeowners. Your buyer can tell you how soon they want to buy. And if it's based on their close date, it's a great way to forecast future listings or for future buyers based on their move date. We'll even show your buyer a rate chart that explains how purchasing power changes when rates improve. And again, with the recent rate improvement, there's a lot of pent up buyer demand out there. We'll even let your buyer put any address they want in to get the same short-term rental information we provide to your homeowners. Guess what is the biggest group of buyers forecasted for 2024? Millennials. I'm not a millennial, probably wouldn't rent my primary residence out on Airbnb, but hey, they will. Investors love the information as well, and you have that same disclaimer. Remember, just like your homeowners, they can share HomeBot with people they know, and when that new buyer has a report created for them, you will always be positioned as the person they should reach out to. HomeBot is going to come from you. And your buyers can look for a home in any market they're interested in. Wherever they might want to look for a home, we're able to provide a third landing page that actually helps them search for property anywhere they might be looking for a home. And that way they're protected from those third-party sites. Now I'm going to go back into the deck and talk about some great marketing strategies on leveraging HomeBot. But any questions before I do that, Richard?
Yeah, we've got Becky logged one in, which is kind of an interesting question. So she had asked, since obviously HomeBot is available to realtors and mortgage companies, we can all enroll, obviously. Is there a scenario, or how likely would it be for a new buyer to maybe they've talked to a couple realtors, now they're getting 2, 3 HomeBot invites, or maybe they've talked to a couple mortgage companies and they're getting 2, 3 HomeBot invites. I have my own thoughts about that question, but I'll let you answer it.
So there is no exclusivity to HomeBot. And you can look at this as a negative, but I look at it as a positive. And here's why. I would hate if some super aggressive realtor maybe added one of my past clients that jumped into an open house. They're in book club with them. They add that client to HomeBot, and then I cannot send it to them. The reality is homeowners and buyers only want to get one home report. And so most cases, they're going to unsubscribe from the home digest or buyer's report that they're getting from an agent that they're not working with. And if they are downloading and using that mobile app, we do make them pick which agent or lender that they want to work with. But the exclusivity of HomeBot could really be a negative to both lenders and real estate agents.
Well, the good thing is they don't I actually like the way you do that. That means if somebody did add them and they didn't want to be added and they wanted to be with their cousin who was a realtor or whatever, they could unsubscribe and then go ahead and ask. So I think that actually works out best for the clients.
I do too. Let's go back into the deck and then we'll have some time for questions at the end as well. But I do want to cover some great ways to leverage HomeBot, because the reality is we're not in a set it and forget it market. We have got to turn the volume up on what we're doing to create more transactions. And the best way to do that in HomeBot is to watch your client's activity and proactively reach out to them. There is no need to wait for them to reach out to you in HomeBot. So if they're active, they're clicking around their home's market, they're creating selling signals or looking at listings with you, pick up the phone and reach out to them. Number 2, load more clients. I cannot tell you how many realtors I coach that have less than 50 clients on HomeBot. Every past client should get HomeBot from you. All of your opted in prospects, as well as your own sphere of influence, which is usually around 100 people you know on a first name basis, but they've never done a real estate transaction with you. Friends, family, neighbors, possibly even past colleagues if you came from a different profession. Then start using all of our lead generation tools to start capturing new business using HomeBot, QR coded farming postcards, door knocking with door hangers. Why not post HomeBot on social media and keep us on your cell phone? I do recommend that once a year, every homeowner should at least be offered an annual homeowner review with you. Best time to do an annual homeowner review is January through April before income taxes are due. And then because you'll be co-branded with the Kimball Team, consider starting to drop videos in. It always increases your engagement. And consider using HomeBot's nationwide property listing search to protect your buyers no matter where they're looking for a home for sale. The back end of HomeBot is very dynamic. And once you accept the Kimball Team's invitation, this is what it's going to look like. Once you're logged in, after your account's created, bookmark the site. That way you'll always have access to it right on your computer. You can actually save it to your home screen on your phone as well. But it's not just about tracking activity. It's about watching what your clients are doing in HomeBot. Because why in the world would I wait to reach out to a client that's tuning their value, looking at their home's market, and viewing listings with me? I watch my activity every day, and then I click on the client's name. And that way I can preview their actual report. All right, I don't know why this isn't working. Let's try this one. Once you pull up the actual client that's been active in HomeBot, you can preview their report so you know exactly what they're getting from you. And if you want to edit anything in HomeBot, you can do that to deliver an even more accurate report. So if value isn't what it should be, set a new value and a range for your client. It will continue to grow from that figure. If the sale price or bedrooms and baths and square footage didn't import incorrectly, you can edit that. You can even add the co-owner, because if they have a different email, They can also start getting the report from you, and you'll see a history of everything that client has done on HomeBot since they started with you. Another great place to go is manage, because that's where you can see every homeowner and buyer you have on HomeBot. I've got 380 homeowners and 150 buyers. I can search for any client by name or property address. I can sort all of my clients high to low equity, because typically if clients have a lot of equity, they might be thinking about making a move, right? You can also sort high to low interest rates, but again, that's something that I believe the Kimball team would be more interested in when they're partnering with you. And then, of course, adding clients easy. If you accept the Kimball team's invitation, you can add up to 25 for free right here. Of course, most of us add our clients in bulk. Just simply create an export file from your CRM. There's help here on doing that. There's also a direct message button here where you can ask us questions to get help, or simply search our help articles for things like QR codes or scripts and pull up all the information you need. There's also help up here under the Help Center or by calling us. And remember, we have a great workshop called Getting Started that will help you as well. You're not going to run out of support, but again, create that export file and drag and drop it right here. HomeBot always scrubs for duplicates. We will not create the same home report for the same client again. So a lot of our realtors, if they don't integrate their CRM with HomeBot, actually just create a monthly export file, and we wipe for the ones that have already been added to HomeBot. Super easy to do. Remember, your database is safe and secure with HomeBot. Most of your time will be spent in your client tab. A client is any homeowner or buyer you add to HomeBot. Once you accept the Kimball team's invitation, this is where they will appear in HomeBot as your co-branded lender. Remember, you're not sharing your database with them. They only appear under financing. They only see the client when there's a financing-driven question. I love partnering with my lender to get those advanced features. I don't have to answer financing-related questions, and Nina and I partner on leads. Because as a lender, she's creating selling and buying opportunity, and she can help my clients with their financing questions. You can cancel your relationship with your lender anytime you want. Remember, HomeBot is month to month. Get leads is where all your lead generation tools will live. And if you're on HomeBot on your own, you only get access to the first one for homeowner leads. Once you accept the Kimball team's invitation, you'll have all three of these: one for homeowners, one for buyers, and one for HomeBot's nationwide property listing search. There are a ton of ways that you can use these landing pages. I actually keep them on my phone so I can text them to people and add clients. Post on social media, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram. HomeBot actually provides pre-built Facebook posts for you as well to capture leads. And then, of course, if you want to invite clients to use our mobile app, we've got lots of resources to invite people to use that mobile app with you as well. And then we even have a widget for your website. There's about 5 versions of this widget, but it's a great way to compel people that go to your website to sign up for HomeBot. And the good news is, no matter how they sign up for HomeBot, now they've opted in. We'll automatically create a home report for the homeowners, a buyer's report for the buyers. Of course, we notify you, and you can even track where your leads are coming from in HomeBot. Customizes all your advanced features. And remember, turn on instant offer if you want. You do not have to turn it on if you're uncomfortable with adding that button to HomeBot. And you do not need BombBomb in order to create videos. One of my favorite is video email. It goes out with their updated report from you by email every month, or as often as every week. This is one video going out to everybody one time. So it's a great timely message around Happy Valentine's Day. Would you like to do an annual homeowner review with me? And by the way, I got a new listing coming to the market, and here's what my buyers are looking for right now. There's also about 16 places in HomeBot where you can drop in a custom video. I highly recommend you at least create welcome videos for every homeowner and buyer that's created for you. This is a great opportunity to talk to your clients through HomeBot, but make these evergreen. Evergreen just means you're not going to keep recording them over and over again. That'd be a lot of work, even with our scripting and all of our guidance in doing it. Now, remember, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you are not going to do everything I showed you at once. Best thing to do is load your clients in and start watching what they're doing on HomeBot. Then you can start sorting them high to low equity, and you have a great reason to reach out and talk to them. Haven't we all been coached to call our clients quarterly anyway? Start forecasting your listings and buyers based on their move date. Use those landing pages to capture new business. And for every lead you create at open houses, farming, events, social media, start nurturing them with HomeBot. Use our predictive analytics to target who you want to reach out to. Each Monday, you will actually get an activity email from us. It'll point out your hot homeowners, your hot buyers, and my favorite section as a realtor, potential sellers, simply based on what they're doing, how long they've been in the home, and then all you have to do is click on their home, view their report, check in with them. It's not creepy to check in. In fact, it often results in forecasting future listings and buyers. So I encourage you to do this quarterly at the very least. And then start using those landing pages to capture new business. There's a ton of things you can do, but don't start here. Always start with your past clients, then add in your own sphere of influence and your opted in prospects you're already working with. It's not that marketing to strangers doesn't work, they simply take more time and sometimes money to convert. And almost every seasoned agent I have ever coached has told me almost all of my results come from repeat clients and referrals. And if you're desperate for listings, never forget that NAR does that buyer survey every year. And more than 60% of the buyers for the last 10 years in a row have actually been existing homeowners making a move. Not only can they click into their home's market and dig into everything important to them, but you can see them do that. And they've got all these pink bubbles to reach out to you by text and email. Because you're co-branded with the Kimball team, they can actually become a buyer with you, and you'll get notified as well. Farm with HomeBot. The only possible good thing I could say about COVID at this point is we all finally figured out how to use a QR code, and they are free on the internet. So again, I use QR code monkey, so I can drop in a cute little logo here. But all you're doing is compelling a farm to sign up for HomeBot with you. Target your own neighborhood. You got a vested interest in who moves into that neighborhood and how much those homes sell for. And your neighbors know you, like you, and trust you. Or farm traditionally based on high turnover with your title rep. Average age of the homeowner. Average age of the home in the area. Compel them to sign up for HomeBot with you. And if you can't afford to mail a postcard, use it as a door hanger. Except for not right now, it's kind of cold out there. Post us on social media, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and start compelling new people to get signed up. We talked about the biggest problems in the industry. Hopefully you see how HomeBot and partnering with the Kimball team can be an amazing solution to your problems. What's next? Well, remember, if you're on HomeBot on your own, you don't need to create an account. You just need to accept the Kimball's team's invitation. Otherwise, let them know you're ready to go. They'll send you the invitation. And if you're not ready to do that, at least have them add you as a homeowner, give them a property address so you can start really looking at what these reports look like. The best way to use HomeBot is with a co-branded lender. So remember, accept the invitation from the Kimball team. Use my setup fee code to waive the setup fee when you accept their invitation, and you can actually try HomeBot for free for your first 25 manually loaded clients. If you need help uploading your database to HomeBot, your lender can probably help you with that, or you can go directly through our support. It's a super easy product to get started on. If you happen to be a broker owner, you're interested in broker owner pricing, please reach out to me individually. I'm happy to talk about that with you. And then again, just going back to my website, because it does have a ton of resources on it, all of the training classes, and then of course at the bottom, all of our collateral materials. That's a great resource for you. That's all I have, Richard. But if anybody has questions, I think we have a few extra minutes.
We got a list of questions. So Let's start with Joanna asked that, or mentioned that we keep mentioning protecting our clients. Can you elaborate how the tool has that benefits? And ultimately, you've mentioned it many times, is this tool can be used for searching properties. This can be used to keep your clients off of Redfin and Zillow and all of those other sites out there. They could do it all right in here. And thus, Joanna, your name is the only one that's going to be seen if they decide to look at properties in Colorado, in San Diego, in Tampa, or right here in Chicago. And on Aaron, I'll let you add to that. Is anything that you want to add to that before I get to the next question?
All I would say, and again, this slide says it all, this is where your buyers are at. Do you want them clicking on a Zillow app, a realtor.com app, or do you want them getting this personalized information, a custom report from you, and all of their questions directed back to you? That's where we're at in the business. These companies have billions of dollars to spend on marketing. You want to protect your clients, you need your own client for life portal, and that's what HomeBot is designed to do. We don't sell you leads, we protect your clients and help you create your own.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Becky, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say also too, we have a very strict privacy policy in our terms of use. So HomeBot itself will never solicit, sell, engage with your clients. We are literally here to facilitate the relationship between you and your clients. So I think that's also something to note is, if somebody goes on Zillow, they're sold off to the highest bidder and they're going to be reached out to by 5 agents. That is not the case with HomeBot, which is why I really love our home search as well, is that's the protection, is they're with you and they're not going to be, hit up by a number of different agents or loan officers. So I also wanted to share that everything is protected via our terms of service, which is a nice feeling to have. Even when you cancel, we don't do anything with that data. It is strictly, again, between you and your clients, not HomeBot. So
that's perfect. So Becky asked, are we able to add families and friends anywhere in the United States? I'm going to say that's a quick yes, so we can keep going through the questions. So it doesn't matter where they're at, Becky. You can definitely add them as they've got access to MLSs throughout the United States. Is there a list of recommended videos to make? You guys do have a whole list of videos to make, and I think you actually mentioned that's in the training as well, Aaron. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep. Lots of scripting, workshop, examples of video. We're going to guide you through that process.
Perfect. And let me see if I can get on. I got a chance to read Becky's question here. Go ahead, Rob. I'm going to read this next one if you got something to add.
Oh, I just added a link to a really helpful article that outlines those 16 videos that Aaron was mentioning. The really cool thing is with any of those links, it will take you to an article on how the video appears throughout the experience. So at what part of the report does it appear? We also help you with some scripting. And then also Grant does a really great video example. I'm somebody who is intimidated by video. So I think I wrote Grant's video down word for word and wrote it off of a Word document till it sounded natural. But like Aaron said, just record it once. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I mean, if you fumble your words, it happens. We're all human. And I think that, almost makes it a little bit more credible of a video. So if you're thinking about doing video in 2024, definitely it's nice to use HomeBot to kind of dip your toes in the water and kind of get comfortable with it, which is nice.
That's perfect. So Becky had asked a question more specific to me. If they referred us to somebody a couple of years ago, they didn't get qualified, we put them into HomeBot, and now a year or two later, they raised their hand. Becky, everything that we get referred by any of our agents is tied back to the referring agent through the CRM. So the very first thing we're going to do when that client raises their hand is say, okay, where did this come from? So it's always within our CRM. That's really critical that we know where these leads came from. So you will get that lead back to you. Jessica says, do we send an email with our information to be added? So if you're talking about being added individually, I believe, Jessica, and if not, you can send another question, but to be added individually with your address, yes, send me or Tony an email, and we will add you individually so that you'll start getting the HomeBot reports and getting exposed to the product as your clients could potentially be once you start using it. Rob's got the script. That's perfect. Bye, Dolores. Jessica, okay, I got hers. And okay, good. So I think we've got all those questions answered. And
Hey,
a little
Rich, I
bit.
think you missed one from Craig.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I need a QR code for Aaron for the extra reports. Aaron, do you want to put your QR code back up there?
For the extra reports?
Yeah, that's what his
I'm not
question
sure
was.
exactly what he's saying there. My QR code is right here. That's going to go to my website. If you want to create your own QR codes, I use QR Code Monkey for free. We can post the training around that or send it to Richard, but all they're going to do is take their landing page and create a QR code to put on farming postcards. But this QR code actually just takes you to my website.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the extra articles you have on your website, which are really, really great resources. So that will lead you
Oh,
to
yeah.
resources. And then I just messaged Tony. I'm actually going to put Rich's landing page in here. So if you want to receive your own HomeBot report from Rich, click that link and then you'll just fill out your information and then you'll be entered into his HomeBot account and you'll receive your first report so that you can play around with it. So super easy to just enroll yourself. And you guys actually have access to this as well, like Aaron went over. So when you're doing lead gen, you can also share your own page out to capture leads.
Perfect. Amari, appreciate that. Guys, this is just such an incredible tool for engagement with your clients. It's an incredible tool to give you a reason to call your clients. And, to the point with Joanna, it's an incredible tool to keep your clients within yourself so that they don't go out to some of these other places. So that's good. Let's see if we've got anything else. Rob, thank you for that. Tony, I'm sure you grabbed that link. That's awesome. Becky, thank you for that. Dahlia, you're welcome. And to our HomeBot team, I thank you very, very much for your time. And certainly we thank you again for the sandwiches that you guys provided. Upcoming classes for us. Real quick, we have a home buyer webinar that we're going to be doing Saturday, February 3rd. And that's going to be via Zoom from 9 to 10 o'clock. That is for all home buyers, not just first-time home buyers. And our next webinar training is on a little bit different technology piece called list reports. And that'll be February 8th, and that'll be at 10 a.m. from 10 to 11. List reports does things very much differently than HomeBot. It's a great tool for creating social media, great tool for creating marketing with your own listings. If you've never heard of list reports, and it always shocks me that people haven't, you want to come and get signed up for that class on February 8th at 10 o'clock. If you want to work your own database, List Reports doesn't do any of that. HomeBot is the place to be. So Tony's got the sign up for that. I'll leave that out there, or you can reach out to us for the signups. And again, Rob and Aaron, thank you very much. Aaron, great job. So we appreciate you a ton. And Rob, I'm sure we'll lean on you down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Take care, everybody. Have a great afternoon and stay warm.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.